Hey nerds, Bevan here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I just want to talk about kind of what I'm doing. What am I watching? What am I playing? What am I reading? Mostly the reason I'm doing this is because I want to put a video out there for you guys, but I'm behind in the news. You know, I'm not up to date with it. There's nothing that's big enough that I want to talk about that's current enough to talk about, and I'm too broke to afford collectibles for any unboxings. So today you just get a little bit of an update. First, let's talk about what I'm playing, and I'm still playing The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time for Nintendo 3DS. I did a video about this a week ago, 2 weeks ago, maybe a little bit later than that, but you know, I've been playing it for a couple weeks now. I'm not playing it a lot, but when I do pick it up, I play for several hours at a time. And I'm not really one to sit and play games for several hours at a time, which just kind of shows me how good this game is. Not very far. I'm not very good at the game. I'm constantly using walkthroughs, and I'm okay with that. I'm willing to admit that. I'm still enjoying playing the game even though I suck at it. As most of you already know, I'm a huge comic book nerd, but as some of you may or may not know, I'm also a huge book nerd. I love to read, especially fantasy. That's why I love superheroes. Right now, I am in the midst of reading A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, which is a prequel to the Game of Thrones series, well, which is really the Song of Ice and Fire series. But it is a trilogy of novellas, all bound in one collection. It follows the tales of Dunk and Egg, who go on to become big-time players in Westeros later on in their lifetime. I've read the first 2 short stories that are in here right now, and I'm pretty meh on it so far. I love the characters. Dunk and Egg are wonderful characters, but the stories and the setting that they're in, within the stories I've read so far, are eh. You know, like, I'm used to the Game of Thrones style of book where it's very political, where it is ruthless, aggressive characters trying to vie for position and play the Game of Thrones. These stories are very much the opposite. Dunk is a low-born hedge knight who's just trying to, like, make a difference in any small way that he can, and Egg goes on to become Aegon V, King of Westeros. But in this story, he's only 10 years old or 12 years old or something like that, so he's not quite where he's going to be eventually. I'm taking a break from that book right now, though. I did just read the entirety of The Song Rising, which is the 3rd book in the Bone Season series. This is one of my favorite book series of all time. Long story short, it follows a group of clairvoyants, which basically means people with psychic mind abilities of different varieties, and they're in England, and they do stuff, and I don't know, it's way too complicated to get into and give a 5-second synopsis of. All I can do though is recommend this book series. Please go check it out. Just a quick humble brag though, I do have a signed copy by the author because I pre-ordered the collector's edition. I haven't really read many comic books lately in March. I was too busy reading these novels. I also tried reading Star Wars Aftermath, which is the new novel series which takes place right after Return of the Jedi, and I just couldn't get into it. I tried so hard. I think I read 260 or 270 pages of it, and I still had 150 pages left, and I tapped out because I didn't care about the characters, I wasn't into the storyline or the action, and I just had to tap out on that one. My girlfriend and I are also reading through Grimm's Fairy Tales together, and the stories are really weird and usually don't make a lot of sense, and there's not a lot of payoff to any of them. But hey, it's quality time with my girlfriend. Now, what am I watching? I'm actually watching a lot. I'm just not watching a lot of any one thing. The girlfriend and I are watching Riverdale, and as the series progresses, I kind of am getting less and less into it. This most recent episode that came out last weekend, I had to wait 3 weeks for it, and I was super disappointed by it. I'm also watching Gotham Season 2 on Netflix and Supergirl Season 1, and I'm not binging them. I'm not a very good binge watcher, mostly because I can't sit there for hours and hours at a time and get through 5 or 6 episodes in one sitting. But, you know, every once in a while, I'll turn Netflix on, I'll watch 2 or 3 episodes of one of those shows, and then a few days later, I'll put the other show on. Supergirl I really like. I think Melissa Benoist, or I think that's how you pronounce her name anyway, I think Melissa Benoist plays the role really well. I like the side characters. I like that every episode is a different bad guy, but I kind of wish she was more proactive in terms of her crime fighting. A lot of the early episodes had all the bad guys coming to her and calling her out, but what I would like to see more of is her going after the bad guy herself. Gotham, I'm super into right now. I know a lot of people have very mixed feelings on the show because it's not Batman, but it's not supposed to be Batman. I think Ben McKenzie plays a really good young Commissioner Gordon, not a commissioner yet, but whatever. I like the storylines. I like the idea of this mega superstar politician in Galavan coming into the city, having no record, no one knows who he is, and he just wins everyone over to his side so he can take over the city from behind the scenes. I think that's a really cool idea, and the show is comic booky, but like not comic booky at all. Like it's only comic booky in its visualness. Like it's a very visual show, and the storyline is, it's kind of a typical crime show, I think. Movies, I haven't been going to enough movies. The only ones I've been to this year are Lego Batman and Logan, and I've talked about both of those on this channel. I know I promised in a previous video that I would be reviewing Beauty and the Beast, and I will be seeing that movie, I promise. Hopefully maybe tomorrow or this weekend, but I'm gonna see you guys. I promise there will be a review up at some point. So that's pretty much what I did all of March. What did you guys do? What are you reading? What are you watching? What are you playing? Tell me. Give me some recommendations, you know? I feel like my March showed a lot of what I'm into. I'm always open to suggestions, especially movies, because I can digest them very easily within 2 hours, give or take. If you like this video, please hit that like button, because the more people that like it, the more people that see it. Please subscribe to my channel. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Bevan Boychuk. And until next time, folks, I am out like a light.